Greetings. Welcome to Faulkner Fixes All. Yeah, we're still working on metal out here in the frozen tundra of a garage. I finished those big planters and we delivered them. Me and you, we delivered them. And yeah, I'm making this table. And then I will do some more bike videos, but I'm making this table. And it's going to this party for artists that were affected during Hurricane Helene. And I am one of the artists. Some of my furniture washed down the French Broad River, and a lot of my wife's artwork washed down the French Broad River. So we went over there to deliver some work, and they said, hey, why don't you bring a table in too, along with your wife's artwork. So yeah, I'm whipping this up, really whipping it actually. These are actually pieces of leftover angle iron. I spliced them together. It's a bit scrappy, but that's not really going to be visible. What's going to be on top is this giant piece of cherry lumber my buddy Victor gave me. It was from his son's apartment that they remodeled, and it was against the wall. And it's all glued together, and it's like 16 inches. There's a little wave right here. There's a little wavy action right here. I'm going to run it through the table saw, bring it down to about 15. And then I might even whip it back up to Victor's and run it through this giant planer to get rid of some of these marks. And then we'll put some polyway on it or something non-toxic that'll dry pretty quick. Because it has to be ready. This table has to be ready by Saturday. And last time I checked, today's Thursday. So, yeah. We've got some work to do, son. Okay, so yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Let's just show you real quick about bending some 1/4-inch rod on my little roller, because people should know it's not that hard. This roller is a really cheap one, and about a year into owning it, this whole plastic piece broke, and I was so discouraged. The new one was another $100 or something, and unfortunately this plastic piece broke. So what I did was I took it all apart and I made a metal holder for this whole thing. This is now steel. Yeah, more time than money, folks. More time than money. Anyway, I did fix it and it does work. Probably better than before, actually. All right, so this is not an exact science. You just kind of get some rod that's long, and you just wing one end in the roller, and then you fit it on here. I want this to be curved. What I'm trying to attempt here is to get this curve here. That looks pretty good, so we stopped. And then I'm going to go down here and just kind of wing it where I think this next curve should be. And it's going to curve down, go along here. Of course, we'll clean off that weld. And we're going to put a little ring there that holds that seam, because this is 2 pieces welded together also. But the legs are 1 piece. It looks pretty good. The rest is pretty scrappy. Yeah, I did what I could. This is all used angle iron from another project that was just sitting outside in the scrap pile. I gotta cut that nip off there. Yeah, it's wavy, it's been seamed, but you're not gonna see this. The top is so thick and it sticks out. Your eye won't be drawn to that. Hopefully. It's nothing wrong with making stuff out of scrap. This is 90% scrap metal. Okay, so let's just bring this over here, and we'll dial it in. We'll just kind of fudge it and see if we can fudge the dimension I need, the arc. So this arc looks pretty good. We got this going on. So now we're going to flip it around, and we've got this already dialed in to the arc I want. This pressure, this dial here, this threaded piece, adjusts the 3 wheels, the tightness of the top wheel against the bottom 2, and there's this big gear in here. So this is right. This is correct to make this bend, but we kind of got an estimate where the next bend is. So we'll get a Sharpie. So we like this bend. It's pretty good. Oh, over here, guys. We like this bend I just made. That's looking pretty good. I could deal with that. We could snip off this end here where we want it, and the ring will go here. So really, we got to start the bend about right here. So we'll put a little mark here. And we don't care about the ends. We don't care about these ends because we're going to trim those off because it's not an exact science. All right, so we know we got the mark. Let's go back over here. All right, so we got our mark there. That's where we want the bend to start for the next one. Okay, so we'll slide this in. Now, there's the tricky part. We already have this tensioned for the bend. So we're going to have to back it off and count the turns, right? Because we have to back it off to get it in there. It won't just slide in. So we're going to count the turns. 1. That's 1 whole turn. 1.5. 2. 2.5. 3. 3.5. Almost. 4. Okay. We know that that was four twists on there. 4 whole twists. Come on now. Get in there. I want to mess with my exact measurement. Okay, so we got that little mark. We got that little red mark. It's right there. That's where we want it to start. And we'll come back a little bit. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's actually 1.5. 2, 2.5, 3. Okay, we'll start with that. Okay, so now I got these pliers, and I'm going to hold it from twisting over here. Because for some reason, I mean, this is a really cheap tool. And on the really nice ones, on a really nice roller bender, it doesn't twist. But on the cheap ones, it tends to spiral when you run it through. All right, so let's go. We're holding this here like that. We're trying to keep that straight. I'm not doing a very good job of it, actually. Okay. Now we're going to run it back because we want the bend. We want the bend in that area, not in this center part. That's where it's going to go straight along that edge. So now we're going to roll it back. Savvy? Back we go. Oh yeah. Okay. And I can tell just looking at it that we only went about 3.5. We only went about 3.5 on the adjustment. So we're going to go more. There's another 1. Maybe if you guys were over here. Yeah. It's so hard filming by yourself. You really never know what angle's going on. Okay, so we're going back in to that mark that we marked. And I'm holding it with the pliers so it doesn't spiral. It is spiraling a little bit though. And I can tell that that's too much. So we're going to back it off a little. And we're going to stop. Now see, right now, I can tell that's a little aggressive there than this one. But that's okay. We can put this on a flat surface and kind of, make it right. So we're going to stop right there. And we're going to bring it over here and see what's going on. And to get it out, you just merely unback this. Back this back off a lot. Because it's got to clear everything now. And don't poke a hole in your roof. Okay, so we got this. It's not bad. Let's go and just kind of mock it up on here. I know that this one bend is a little aggressive. Yeah. Oh, we might be able to deal with that. See, what happened was I went aggressive on one bend and not enough on the other one. But see, that's almost what I want there. Even though that mark, yeah, that mark's right. I marked it over here, but we could switch it around. See, this one's a little shallow. And this one's a little aggressive. But, you know, this is not bad. I think if I unbend this on the floor just a little bit and then center this where I want it, that's why you leave these ends long. You know, that's why you leave these ends long. You need that adjustment. Yeah, sure, you could measure exactly and do some careful calculations and call NASA and cut this rod to the right length right away. But take it from me, you're never going to make it. You're never going to cut the rod and bend it perfectly without this. You need that. You really need this space. You're dealing with a lot of variables here. Like, if we measure here to there, that's smaller than here to here. So I either got to make this more aggressive or I got to unbend that one. So let's see if we can unbend it on the floor a little bit. And then we'll take a measurement. Yeah, okay. That's a really crowded workshop. I'm kind of liking this bend here, though. You know what? We're going to run it through. We're going to run the other side through. This side that's not as aggressive. We're going to run this other side through because I like the bend of the aggressive one. Aggressive's good. All right, we'll put this back in. And clamp this down. Where are we? About right there. Okay. Okay. You guys here? Yeah, you're here. Okay. Looks pretty good. Let's bring that right on out. Okay, so we've made that a little more aggressive. An aggressive bend. And we'll see how it looks. Oh yeah, it's much better. Yeah, that's even. Let's get the tape measure. Yeah, unbending it on the floor is really not very exact. It's a last case scenario. Yeah, so that's kind of the swoop we want, you know, and it comes down, swoops here. So in the center here, well, we know that's about 4.5 inches. But if we were to go, let's see, that's about 29, so about 14.5. So if we went here from 14.5, from there up to the start of the bend, in between is 4.5. So if we go 14.5 over here, yeah, no, it's not very precise. And the start of the bend is 4 3/4. So that's why we have these long pieces here, so we can adjust this. You know, I can say, oh, I want that to be more even. I'll just shove this down a little bit. But right now, you know, that's not bad. And I'll make another little ring to go there. I was going to use this. I don't like to use these in furniture. This is an old bearing race from I think I got this out of a rear bearing from a 1960 Ford F100 that I was working on. I sold the truck, but I had to replace a bunch of bearings, and this is a race. And I was going to put this in here like so. And then bend that down to it. You know, crunch that down to there. So it would kind of look like that. It's hard to kind of get a feel for it, but it would be something like that. And this is the bottom of the table, obviously. So you'd be looking at it like this. But as a rule, I don't like to use a lot of bike parts and car parts in the furniture. Just something about it. Just not down with it. I'll make a ring like this one. I'm not going to use this one, but I'll make a ring like this one. And I'll put it in there. And yeah, it'll look pretty good. Well, not with this center part in there. I don't know what. I think I was making a mini piece steak or something. No, I might still do it. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's how you do it. There's no exact science here. Yeah, you could use calculations, and you could use pi, and you could, you know, measure for hours and hours and hours measuring, and call NASA, and, you know, talk to some scientists, and maybe get some guys at Jay Leno's garage, and you could just cut this piece to length, and then do the. But don't do it. Just leave yourself some extra. You know, just get a little happy there on the extra. That way you can adjust this back and forth and make it right. Yeah, there's a little waste involved, but what are you wasting? You know, 18 cents of 1/4-inch rod. And sometimes I even use these curved pieces, if they're big enough, and come off of here and bring it up to there like a spider web. I don't know if I'm going to do that on this one. I'm going to try to keep it simple. Anyway, yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, more bike videos coming. I know I've been lagging. There's the top for it right there. It's going to be really nice. I know I've been lagging on the bike thing, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Can't all be working on bikes in the summer. We do have this stainless fender that came in. It's really nice. Look at this one. Look at this stainless. Yeah, I snapped this one up when I saw it on eBay. Man, those are nice. Yeah, that's a little beat up, and the rivet's loose, of course. But this is for a traveler. It's stainless. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's yeah, I got 3 bikes to work on. One you guys haven't seen yet. When you see it, your tongues are going to be rolling on the floor. It's a nice Schwinn Traveler in black color. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and keep it positive, folks. It's all going to be good. You know, just keep watching my channel. The good vibes and energy are just flowing throughout your body right now. You're going to feel great. It's going to be a great year coming up. All right, have a good one. And we're back. Hi. I made the ring with the ring roller. I'm going to tack it on. And then I'll show you a little something I like to do. Just give it a little tack. Okay, so we made the ring over there in the roller. We made it over there in our roller. And It's a little bigger than that other ring I was thinking about using. It was too much work to cut this little piece out of here. And after measuring it, after carefully measuring where this rod had to be, this ring was just too small anyway. So, anyway, we're doing good. So yeah, these curves look pretty good. This was the height I wanted. I just went for it. I didn't do any calculations. I didn't call the National Board of Automotive Society Engineers. I just winged it. I thought I needed a 4.5 ring, and I do need a 4.5 ring. And the reason I didn't weld the ring from this side, ow, that's hot, is because then you have to get in there with a file and file that weld off to make it look right. And who cares if there's a little seam? Right now we just reach in with a wire brush. And it's at a point in the table where no one's really going to be scrutinizing, hopefully. And right now we just, we just clean it up. Get some sandpaper maybe. And we will grind the top of this once I actually put a bead right here carefully, very carefully, so I don't burn through the tube. I will grind that flat, and I will put a bead here and grind that a little bit. No one's going to see it because it's the bottom. But for now, we're going to tack these in. And the reason I didn't weld this seam is because it's going to be covered with a weld. So there's no reason to mess yourself up and have to grind that flat and deal with it. Although this bend almost looks like I probably should weld that first. Some of them come up really close, and it's good not to have that. But I think I'm going to weld those first. Usually I don't. Yeah, we're going to weld these and grind them first. Okay, so I'll patch this video into another video. I'm going to weld these. I really don't like to, but I think I should on this one because this curve is more graceful and not as tight and won't cover that. Okay, so yeah, we'll get back to you. The ring's on, and we're going for it. Stay tuned for part 1 million. And we're back. Vulcan Fix is all here. Yeah, we're going to tack this in, and then we're going to kind of bend the other edge, and then we'll trim that off, and once it's tacked, we'll flip it all up and do the top side where everyone's going to see. So let's tack it in real quick. We got this clamped on the ring. That's just floating there. They ain't doing nothing. We're going to have to push down on that side in a minute. And this is the side I'm worried about. We're going to secure this side, and then we're going to tack that. And we're going to go from there. Okay, that's just tacked. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to tack the bottom of this ring. No one's going to see this. I might dress it up a little bit with the grinder later. We're just going to tack it for right now. Okay. Yeah, that looks messy, but that's the bottom of the table. I'll put a bead across that and chamfer it off a little bit. Okay, so what happened is that's wonky now. See how it's far away from the, it's pretty far from the edge there. Yeah, when you weld things, heat does strange things. So it's not bad though. We'll just move it back a little. And what we're going to do is we're going to step back and take a good look and see if we have to push this down or not to make it look even. It's like I said earlier, it is not an exact science. This is custom furniture built in a custom way. It is not an exact science. Okay, this is looking pretty good here. So if we look at this very carefully, we look at the bend, and we may even measure it in a minute. And we look at this one, we can see that this side is up a little. I can tell with my eye right now that this bend swoops down and then gets straight pretty soon. But this bend comes down and it's not quite swooping down soon. So we'll take a little measurement, and when we tack that, we'll push it in. And we'll kind of just gauge by eye. And right now it's not bad, but this is off a little bit. And we can't have that here at Faulkner Fixes All. We do quality work. My name has to be on this. I sign these, so, you know, this is, you know, you have to do the right thing. All right, let's take a measurement real quick. Standards, yes, standards. I really need a camera assistant today. All right, so we know that this one, we know that where the bend starts, let's shut this bend off for a second. Okay, so we know that where the bend starts, which is about, well, the bend ends. Beginning and the end, the flat spot ends and the bend begins, is about 16 inches. So we'll put a tiny little dot here we can grind off later. And a tiny little dot here. And we'll see what this measurement is. This measurement is about 4 3/4. Okay, so if we go 16 off of this edge, you guys with me here? Not really. 16 off of this edge. There's our 16, a little dot, and a little mark here. Disregard that mark. That's from us bending. Okay. All right. So we know that that should be, what did I say, 4 3/4? It's probably yelling into the camera right now. 4 3/4. Okay, so we know that from this mark up to there should be 4 3/4, and it's 5 3/8. So yeah, when we weld this, we have to push this down to about there. So we're going to get a C-clamp, and we're just going to crunch it down. We're going to worry about that other side later. Right now, let's get a C-clamp. I hope it works, and we'll just kind of scrunch it down a bit. It may just slip right off. We'll see. The whole thing has to come over too. Okay. Yeah, this might just slip right off. We'll see. And there's the mark. Okay. It might work. Okay, there's 4 3/4 in between. Now, did that change us cramping that? Did that change this measurement over here? Let's make sure. Nope, still at 4 3/4. Okay. So we know that this should look even. Now that we crunch this down a little bit, we might want to go a little bit more. Let's take a look back where we were and just kind of eyeball it. Trust your eye, you know. Tape measures are good, but the human eye is pretty good. So here we have it. There's that bend there. Looks pretty good. Comes along, it's pretty flat. Yeah, I think we're going to just tack that on real quick. If that doesn't fall off when I try to bend that over, I will be doing pretty good. Yeah, okay, let's do it, folks. Less talk, more work. Okay, standards. Standards, yes. Okay, so I hope I can just pull this over without this clamp falling off and give it a quickie tack. I really hope this works. Sometimes I would go get a helper, but my helper is pretty busy right now. We are both full-time artists. Yeah, we are busy folks. Okay, careful. Careful. Easy. Okay, so I'm going to push this over. I'm going to pull this over an inch and quickly tack it without that falling off. You guys are going to be amazed. Woohoo! It worked. Okay, now we're going to take the clamp off. Hopefully it won't spring back too much. Let's see what it does here. Alright. Alright, so now let's go check. I think we're good though. I don't see an issue with this. I hope it didn't move. I guess I could measure it, right? I think it didn't move. If it did, it was just slight, a very slight movement. Yeah, I mean, where do you stop at being precise? These are all, this is just something I'm making out on sawhorses with my skills, and sometimes you gotta call it. I think it looks pretty good though. All right, let's take a quick measurement just to say that we're awesome. I think it moved though. I think it did move. Let's see here. Yeah, it did move a little. It's at 5 right now. That's not too bad. And this one's at 4. Well, a little over 4 3/4. We might be able to just bend this down a little bit. You know, just crunching it with my hand. Let's see what that did. Yeah, that's 4 7/8. And that's now 4 7/8 as well. A little crunching of the hand. All right, so what we'll do is we'll tack these real good. I mean, we'll weld these right now. We'll cut that off with a zip disc and weld the bejeebies out of those. Both sides. Real hot. Finish it off. Cut that off with a zip disc. Come in here, do this bead. Do that bead. Grind everything up on the bottom, and then we'll flip it up and do all the fancy welds on top. We gotta make all this look right, you know. And that's a little off, but that's okay. Yeah, it looks good, folks. Okay, next video, I'll probably be doing the adjusters, which is kind of boring. We gotta weld some. I haven't decided if we're gonna push the little plastic plugs in for the adjusters and go cheap, or we're gonna weld some fancy ones. I don't think I have time to do the fancy schmancy. This has gotta be done. So I'll probably just push those plastic cheapies in there. And then we'll clear coat it. So I'll probably just do the next video. It'll be me clear coating it. It'll be done. Yay! Okay. See you in a minute. Well, for you guys, it's gonna be a minute. Greetings. Faulkner Fixes All here. Yeah, turned out pretty good. Those little joints there. Goes along here. There's the ring. There's that little connector there. I told you everything would work out just right. Everything's all ground up. It's a little scrappy under here still, but no one's gonna see under there. Tabletop's gonna be on there. So yeah, we gotta find some adjusters I'm going the cheap route. There's just these little plastic inserts you pop in. You just hammer them in there, and then there's a threaded adjuster with a little nickel plate. I probably have to go to Ace or somewhere and get them. Not a paid promo. Anyway, yeah, it looks a little scrappy. Who's gonna look under the table, right? And see that it's all spliced together. Who's gonna look under there, huh? Only you guys. Turned out pretty good. The ring is off about. It's really hard to tell, you know, just looking at it. But the ring is off, probably 3/8 of an inch out of center. But that's okay. No one's gonna press me on it. Turned out pretty good for a bunch of scrap angle. And I bought these. These were expensive because I couldn't go to my regular steel place because it was just too far to go. I kind of took the hit. I bought the 3-footers at Lowe's, these, and they were like $15 a piece. And I had some scraps. I had some drops, so I had to buy 3 of these, and I had another leg. So yeah, instead of going to the steel place where you can get a 20-footer cut in half for $14, I went to Lowe's and spent $15 times 3. So time is money, but man, it was just so far to go down there. The regular steel place, the river washed it away, so I have to go like 60 miles away to get steel now. So I took the hit. I just went to Lowe's. And you know what's really a bummer? They say they're 3 feet, but they're under. They're like 35.5 inches. So they jip you on the length, and it's the same price as buying a 20-footer. Actually more. Like, ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, there's the top over here. I gotta get this coated tomorrow and on there. Let's just pop it on real quick and see what you guys think. Yeah. We'll just chuck the top on loosely. I might want to put it on the ground, yeah. Okay. Let's just see what you guys think. We'll put this on real quick. Yeah, it'd be something like this. Yeah. Of course, these edges will look a lot better, and it'll be sanded and some polyway urethane stuff on there. And it'll be centered. It won't be, because that's over a little bit there. Yeah, but that's the idea. I don't have time to make the fancy adjusters, unfortunately. But this slab on top will be all clean and nice looking. That should turn out pretty good. Okay, I promise, last furniture welding video. It's back to the real stuff. Back to stuff like these ram's horn bars sitting there. Back to real stuff. Promise. Okay. Keep it going, folks. Everything's fine. Don't feed the negative. Just think good thoughts and all that stuff. You're gonna be fine. I mean, look, if I can make this in my garage and 6 hours of grinding and welding. Just think what you can do at home. Look at that. Oh, it's so clean. Okay, have a good day, and yeah, keep the good vibes going, man. You guys are doing great. Greetings. You know who? Who else? Faulkner fixes all, or Faulkner welds all. Yeah, it's done. I thought I'd just skip to the chase here. It's looking pretty fly. It is looking nice. It's a little streaky on the finish, but a little rough. But I'm a little rough too. Yeah, it's looking good. I call this one the protector table because it's kind of like there's this person here with arms protecting Asheville from future hurricanes. Yeah. Yeah, and it was really wobbly, and I had to add these stiffeners here. When I first put it on the ground and just kind of set this on here, it was really wobbly, and now it's not because we've put some shear strength here. Nice little touch, kind of makes it look like a little French window or something. Yeah, little sassy little adjusters with felt on them. You know, machined adjusters. Yeah, those are sassy. That's signed somewhere. Yeah, turned out really nice, folks. And it's going down to this market gallery on Market in Asheville. There's a big party, and the lady is letting a whole bunch of artists from the Asheville area put stuff in her gallery. Really nice lady. I might do a little video during the party, maybe. If it's, I don't know, people get freaked out when you start videoing them when they're having happy times. Might do a little quick segment though, just to see it in place next to my wife's work. Yeah, it turned out really nice, folks. It's all cleaned up. Here's the back. And like I say, it was really wobbly. It had like some back and forth action because without this bar in here, it didn't have any shear strength, but now it does. I've made a few of these with the rings, and some people even put potted plants in there, but I tell them not to because when they water it, it leaks on the floor. Just a suggestion, you know. Anyway, yeah, hope you've enjoyed this series, and more bike stuff coming. I promise the next video will be me doing what we always do, maybe even a live feed, because I'm so happy to get this welding stuff done. It's not fun out in the shop when it's freezing. Yeah, but it turned out really good. Turned out really nice. Let me know what you think. If you have ideas about new tables, and you know, you have ideas about how to make it easier, you know, make things easier on me. Anyway, yeah, it looks really good. There you go. Now to load it up in the truck and bring it down. Oh man, I gotta deal with all this too. What the heck? Oh, dude. Okay, well, that's it for now, and stay tuned. It will be some bike stuff happening. I know this is boring, but you know, you gotta roll with me here. All right. Keep the positive vibes going. Everything's gonna be fine, folks. Have a good day.